Real news. Honest and fun political talk weekly on the line 90.7 FM. We're going to start with the one that started the week off right, which is Pocahontas, a.k.a. Elizabeth Warren, revealed her DNA results, and it showed that she's between, wait for it, 164th and 1024th Native American. And this comes after the Boston Globe originally printed that it was 132 to 164th. But they had to correct, 132nd, but then they corrected it to 164th. So it's actually, she became less Native American after they corrected her story. But you actually, to join the Cherokee tribe or any Native American tribe, you got to be 1/16th Native American. She ain't anywhere near close. And when they were doing it, they used samples from Mexico, Peru, and Colombia to stand in for Native American because they believed in the migration theory that these people came into America and that they were going to be Native American. And they're going like 10 generations back. But the Cherokee Nation, base Cherokee Nation, shot her down, called her out, saying, a quote, a DNA test is useless to determine tribal citizenship. Current DNA tests do not even distinguish whether a person's ancestors were indigenous to North or South America. They called the DNA test inappropriate and wrong, and they said that Senator Warren is undermining tribal interests with her continued claim of tribal heritage. Wow.
Well, yeah, she should have never done that test. That just looks bad on her because there's no way in heck it was going to be anything good. Like, it's great though, just going to watch them shoot themselves in the foot. And like when the Cherokee Nation like yells at you.
Your own minority group.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Then like a bunch of leftists were yelling at the Cherokee Nations because they're like, oh, this person like better than Trump. And they're just like, really? Like, this person is the so much white privilege with this person, I suppose. Mm. Like, I saw things like she's so white privileged, she thinks that like she can just say that she's Native American.
Pretty much. It also reminds me of like that South Park parody of 23andMe. They called it DNA Me, and they were like, I found out that I'm 10% African American. I'm 3% Native American. Then they start saying I'm 4% privileged, or I'm 4% oppressed. I'm an oppressed class, and they just kept bragging about how I'm part of this oppressed group. That's basically what she did. She's like, I'm part of this oppressed group, Harvard. Therefore, you must accept me. And she checked the box saying that she was Native American to get into Harvard, and that's where all the controversy started. And somebody at Harvard even wrote a paper saying that she was Harvard's first colored professor.
Colored white.
Have you looked at her? She is so white, and her results are like in the minority of Americans. Most Americans are double the amount of Native American percentage that she is. She's like her top one would be like 1.5. The lowest is like 0.00001. She's not an Indian. She's a fake Indian. She's not Native American.
That's just hilarious. But like I was looking into this this stuff. Like apparently they had like it wasn't even necessarily Indian. It was like, because they have such a low sample size of Indians who submit to that, it was like anything like between Native American to like Mexican and stuff. She might not even be 1,064% Indian. She might be like
Mexican.
Like Mexican or whatever it is. She might be like 0% Native American now. So it's pretty hilarious. But like, at what point is someone like considered whatever race that those things say? So if you're 1% black, you say the N-word?
That's what they did on South Park in that parody. He's like, I'm 1% black. Sup? He said, the N-word. And that's what's funny is that, like, for instance, our quarter Asian pal that comes in, he's 1% Jew, but he's not Jewish by any regard. So what's he going to be? Say, I'm Jewish now. Like, if I'm like 1/18th black, should I be like, I'm black, and check that off the box, even though I'm clearly not? That's what this goes into. I mean, like I said, the Cherokees say you got to be 1/16th at least to join the tribe. She's nowhere close. Her best shot is 1/64th, but her lowest shot is 1 in 1,024.
It's not even the lowest because that wasn't even necessarily Native American. It could be less than that.
They got it from Mexicans, Peruvians, and Colombians to stand in for Native American because they assume migration theory.
Yeah, they assume they have, and they probably do have some similar things that might not be entirely equal. But this kind of does lead, that she did use it for Harvard. Like, honestly, I don't blame her for lying about her ethnicity in Harvard. Like, honestly,
have to do it to get in anymore.
Well, yeah, I'd recommend everyone lie about their ethnicity on college entrance exams because I honestly, if you're white, like, I'd say don't say your race on those things. Like, hide it. If you can find yourself 1% one race, I'd go and do it too, because it's racist. There is racial discrimination against everyone, like especially Asians. There's a lawsuit in the works right now between a Asian American group and I think it was Harvard.
It is Harvard.
It's one of those Ivy League schools because they've been significantly racially discriminating against them.
Because they're doing too good. They're doing too good, so we gotta let less of them in. That's really what they were doing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And then like if you like the SAT scores, if you're like black to get into there, I think you need like 1100, and I think it's on like a 1600 scale. But if you're like Asian, you need like 1300 or something crazy. It's like significantly higher, and that's why you start seeing a lot of like Asian like people. I think that's why they have to go and take all these like extracurriculars, like different languages, different like musical instruments. That'd be like freaking prodigies, because if they're not, there's no way they're getting any like really good school.
Yeah,
like it's really sad that it's gone to this point. And it benefits, it doesn't even really benefit that many people, because if you're too stupid to get into Harvard, then you're not going to do too well. And if you do very well, then that means that those schools have, like, there's something wrong with the school. If you're stupid and you do well in Harvard, like the majors must not be hard enough. And I actually read something about this, and there's been a significant amount of grade inflation at like Ivy League schools. But apparently it didn't help like George W. Bush. He was like a C student in Harvard and he became president. Yeah, just let that sink in. Yeah,
I bet Trump got great grades when he was at Warren, because he wasn't partying and drinking and doing all that stupid stuff. He was working. I bet he got great grades.
He probably did. Someone needs to go and get his like college transcripts. I want to see how it went.
Yeah, because like remember when people were talking about like Obama probably had bad grades and he didn't want to put him out there. I wonder if somebody's going. I think somebody did leak Obama's transcripts. I'm surprised nobody's leaked Trump's yet. And they probably haven't.
They probably don't want to leak
because they're good.
They're not going to want to leak something.
Yeah, but Rachel Maddow, remember when she had his tax returns? She's like, I have Donald Trump's tax returns in 15 minutes. We'll reveal them, and she reveals that Donald Trump paid taxes. He also paid taxes. Oh wait, he paid more than maybe he had to. What's going on in Iraq? She looks so stupid because she was like hyping this thing up, and when she was reading it, she's like, oh, he paid this, he paid that, he paid that. It's like, oh, he pays taxes.
Well, of course,
bombshell.
If he didn't pay his taxes, they'd
be on his butt.
Like, this is a sort of like a real life thing that you go and take away from. So I had a teacher of mine in high school, and he told me like he used to work on the stock exchange because of money that he's had. Like the more money that you make, the more of an eye you'll have on your taxes. Like, because they're not going to get much if if you're a poor guy and you didn't pay very much taxes. But if you're like Donald Trump level rich, then you will be paying tax. They'll make sure they get their money because you have a lot more money to get from it. It's a lot more cost efficient to get from someone like Donald Trump. So I don't know what they're dealing with all that. It's just ridiculous. But I think Elizabeth Warren, she makes herself look like an idiot. She's alienating Native Americans from her base. And I think that the college stuff is a disgrace, is a national disgrace. It makes the minorities like black people, Mexican people who graduate from these universities. Then it makes people question them because they're like, did you just get in there? They
form negative stereotypes.
It's like, did you just get in there because of your skin color? It's like. It's kind of like the reverse of what people would think of like racism. It's just like they have to have racism because they know the colleges are racist and let them in easier. And the only way to go and really stop this is to end affirmative action. And I wonder how much Penn State does that. I mean, I was told that Penn State does something more of like the opposite. Like, it's harder for you as an in-state person to get in than if you were from like out of country.
I believe that,
because they get more money if you're out of state, because we have to go and rely on like because that's why the tuition's cheaper if you're in state versus out of state, and that's why they want, you know, like a lot of people from out of state. Because I know, like, I don't know, someone's got to investigate this, and I don't think there's gonna be as much as like the Harvard stuff, but I think it'd be interesting. It'd be worth someone taking a look into that if they, you know, favor out of state versus in state students to a certain degree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, you see there's a lot of Asians here, you know, from actually Asia, like Chinese and Japanese and whatnot. So I could definitely see them doing that because they get, but I think what's starting to happen is I think they don't want as many international students because they don't tend to join the Alumni Association. And why does the university want you to join that? Because you give them money. And what does the university want? More money. They want as much money as they can get. So that's why they're actually starting to turn away some internationals from what I've heard. But
well, I don't know about that. I know back when I was there, they used to have they had like a new international student fee, and then it took them like forever, like the student government, like the SG. What was it? The CCSG?
UPUA?
No, CCSG, because it was Commonwealth campuses. It took them forever to figure out what that money was actually going to. They just had like a new like $200 a year like increase in tuition. They didn't know what was going to.
oh, jeez, that's bad.
I mean, but the thing is, like a lot of these international students, just to get over here, they had to go and have a lot of money. So
yeah,
I mean,
they're
probably,
rich.
A lot of them probably don't care as much as the in-state students who have their tuition raised like significantly because it's a lot cheaper. Like, you don't have to be that rich to go to. I mean, you have to have a little bit of money, like definitely, unless you get, unless you're a illegal immigrant.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
In California, you get free college.
Well, I was told, I had a friend of mine who said that there was one at Penn State who got a full-on ride. I don't know if that's true at the moment. Probably, in the current
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like I do wonder because they do seem to be very much against the Donald Trump immigration agenda.
Yeah,
but that's I can't go and say for sure if that's happening anymore. So I'm not going to continue with that line of dialogue before we get shut down.
We may shut down.
Oh my God.
But we actually can say whatever we want about the university. That's what's cool about this station here is we can really crack them, whichever way.
Oh
we
yeah,
want.
but I don't have it. Like I don't.
You don't want to spread fake
news. The person
news.
I know, she knows the person, but I don't know. Like she didn't give me that person's name.
Oh, okay, fair.
So I don't have the actual name of that person, but I could get it if I really needed to. But I don't know. If I knew that there was an illegal immigrant who was getting a full-on ride, I'd be called Ice Baby.
I should play that song.
No, that just really upsets me because I pay good money in taxes over here, and I paid good money to the university, and then when I figure out that my money's being taken and given to someone who's
broke the law,
who shouldn't be here. Like why Penn State too? Because there's just something like if they're going to do it, which I do not think they should get free to. I don't think they should get anything if they come here illegally.
Oh, they should be deported. The only thing they should be given is a free ticket to Ice Air.
Yeah, but like why are they going to Penn State? Have them go to like community college. Why the most expensive public university in the country?
Because they come from underdeveloped countries and they deserve all the privilege that you get, and your white privilege is part of the patriarchal white supremacy society that perpetuates in America, and we cannot tolerate that, and we need to be inclusive here at Penn State, which means welcoming to all race, religions, and citizenship statuses. And if you don't accept that, you're a white supremacist bigot.
Well, see, this is why so many people join the alt-right, because when they get told that stuff,
I know there's an equal and opposite reaction. You're creating your cancer that you keep talking about so evil. You're creating your own boogeyman.
Yeah, no one cared about like Richard Spencer when no one cared like back, probably 10, 20 years ago. No one knew who this guy was. Well, I guess 20 years ago he probably
Until a friend of ours, not a friend, but an associate of ours said, "Hey, Richard Spencer, would you like to come speak at a certain university?"
Well, they can look. I mean, this is pretty public. They have Salon articles or Slate on this. Like, Jesus.
It always comes back to him.
Oh man, he's a very special snowflake.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. The next topic I'll talk about quickly before the break is a Trump tweet where he said the following, quote, "Federal judge throws out Stormy Daniels lawsuit versus Trump. Trump is entitled to full legal fees." And that's an unquote from a quote in his tweet. At Fox News, great. this is Trump actually speaking now. Great. Now I can go after Horseface and her third-rate lawyer in the great state of Texas. She will confirm the letter she signed. She knows nothing about me. A total con. And then Stormy responded with, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you your president. In addition to his shortcomings, he has demonstrated his incompetence, hatred of women, and lack of self-control on Twitter again. That's all in caps. And perhaps a penchant for bestiality. Game on, Tiny. And she also said, I see someone finally made it to chapter 3. Also, can someone please teach Tiny about correct punctuation? We already knew you're a con, though. Hashtag triggered him. Hashtag slow reader. Hashtag come as... I hate when people don't capitalize hashtags. I don't know what she's saying. It's COMMASARA. Something as are hard. Oh, commas are hard. I figured it out. A little slow.
Yeah, see, that was very small-brained of her. She needs to watch more Rick and Morty to increase her IQ so that she can learn to capitalize letters in a hashtag.
Yeah, Stormy Daniels, you watch more Rick and Morty.
No, but this is what really upsets me. Is when like someone says something about one woman, they automatically think that's against all women as a group. Like, when was that?
Or that
said?
you're attacking them because they're a woman.
When are women a group? Like half the women hate each other. Let's be real.
That's true. They all
they
gossip about each other, like, talk smack on each other.
Oh, the truth is they go and say, oh, it's so hard being a woman because I need to go and wear makeup and, do all this crap to go out in the day. It's like, who's really good? And like, I had to go make sure my shoes and dress and stuff look all real nice. I was like, who's really going to like make a big deal about that? Who cares about your makeup more, men or other women?
Other women.
I don't care what makeup she's wearing. Now, if she's got like a, horse face, like Stormy Daniels, apparently. I haven't really watched any of her stuff. I try not to go and watch.
You don't watch her content.
I try not to go and watch porn. But especially like I was told she wasn't even that good of a porn actress. That's what I've heard
me.
From some subject matter experts. But like,
wow, you got reliable sources.
you could probably find on certain websites, but
yeah, there's probably bootlegs of it.
Also, it's like, yeah, she's probably just doing this whole anti-Trump stuff so she can get more sales because she's.
And what'd she do, which I predicted? She wrote a book. Imagine my shock. I called that. I'm not trying to brag, but I called that one because you could tell she was trying to get more money and fame out of this because she's a older porn actress and they tend to die out and that makes much money. So that's what she's doing.
Oh yeah, like once you get like past what was it, like 28, you're done. You're pretty much done. Like I mean, there's some obscure categories like they got the the older ladies, they call them the cougars. They got those, but yeah, you have to be looking like a top tier sorority girl if you want to be like if you want to make the good bucks. But like once you get past that age, it's like milk. No one wants to buy it.
It's past its expiration date. Stormy, you have expired.
Well, yeah, but it's
starting to get sour.
Well, they can see. You want to go talk about the wage gap? Like, look at the wage gap between male and female porn actresses.
Yo, yes.
Like they want to go and say about this. Oh, it's all fun and games until it's like porn actors and actresses, and the actresses always like unless you're just like a terrible actress or you're the best actor, it's like such a discrepancy.
Do gay porn stars get paid less than female porn stars?
Probably because it's a lot different art. Like there's like 1% of the population's like gay, and then like a good portion are straight, and a good portion of the gay people, how many actually go and watch porn? Because how much of them really even need to go and watch porn? Because like
if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend,
it's not easy to like. You could go onto like an app and you could go and find, if you're a homosexual man, it's pretty easy to get intercourse. It was like what, like the average partner someone has in lifetime for like straight people it's like 8, for like gay people it's like 1,000. I read a statistic about that because like with women it's different. Like there's some women out there I know like 30, maybe even 100, but very very few, unless you're like in the a sex worker. It's very difficult to get 1,000. But like for gay men, that's not out of the ordinary. Like there was this one guy who had PrEP, and this was like another thing. I think it was this week he managed to get AIDS or HIV, and he was on that PrEP, and he was very sexually active. I think it was like 70 partners a month.
That's doing like 2 a day.
Yeah.
Busy boy.
I mean, it's not really that hard. Like, they have parties for this sort of thing.
Well, I've heard from people that it's easier as a gay guy to get. Like, gay guys are very desperate and very, like,
well,
thirsty.
they don't care. Like, you know, they tend to not care as much.
They
like,
tend to.
women,
Yeah.
like,
Some have high standards, I've heard.
Like, women tend to have, like, they don't want to be, like, I mean, you know, there's always some women
There's
out
always
there.
requirements. They always want a guy that's, like, going after him, a guy that's a Chad, that's alpha.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they're
like,
picky. They're picky.
Yeah, women tend to be more picky with their partners than men. There's a biological reason for this. So when you have 2 men, and men tend to, you know, there's some pickiness, but not as much. But when you're in the gay community, like, you have the sex drives of 2 men. There's going to be a lot more interaction and a lot less monogamy. Like, I know that's a problem in the gay community, because I have a lot of gay Trump supporter friends on Facebook, and a lot of them complain about
Probably
this.
hitting on you.
I had a couple of them hit on me before, but like, it's, you know, I don't roll that way, but
You sure? You could always try it. You know?
nah, I'm not gonna try that.
Sure.
Nah.
They like Trump. They like some big walls.
Nah,
they like.
I don't.
They want you maybe to polish their wall, if you know what I mean.
No, I'm in a relationship. I don't plan on playing for the other field. Like, no, that's not my cup of tea. But yeah, no, it's just, you have 2 the male sex drive. Of course, there's gonna be more partners, and you know that's the problem with the older ones, is like they tend to not be as monogamous, because they don't really need to be. Like, women, they need, like, biologically, there's a need for monogamy. Like, sure, they could go and be a single mother and work too, but like that tends not to work out as much as like one who's they tend to want a man,
Yeah.
that stays with them.
Yeah, that's true.
And like a lot, I mean, that's why then you have the cucks out there. And like,
Atypical dad.
There's a whole level, like, you know, that's they have like a win-win situation. They have like a secret win, and then men have their win too, is they have like a mistress and their wife is faithful.
Yeah.
But then women have, you know, their win is they have a man who supports them, and then a man, you know, as many men as she wants that can pleasure her better than the man that supports them.
So a casual relationship.
Oh God, like,
That's
mean,
a
most
thing.
people don't
We
think-
know somebody that does that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this college, of course, you get tons of these sort of
Yeah.
people out there. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but like, I don't think that's a very smart idea. Like, I mean, if you're young,
It's
you
not
know,
ethical.
yeah, it's just stupid. Like, you just end up wasting your time not finding your partner, because you want to find your partner.
Exactly.
You want to find your life partner to remain in a monogamous relationship with.
Yeah.
All this other like alternative sexual partnerships.
Alt sex partners.
Yeah, these alt sex partners. It just tends not to work very well. Like, you'll see like a thing on like Facebook is like, ooh, look, they're in like or it says brother, like sister wives or whatever, and this dude is like 6 like wives or something.
Well, you're not spraying. You're the point of a relationship is you're committing to one person. You're putting commitment in. And if you're splitting that into 6 people, you're not fully in commitment to anyone.
Yeah, humans tend to be jealous creatures. Like, you can say
Yes.
you're not, but like
Everybody is.
it'll dig at you.
Yeah.
You know, women are jealous, men are jealous, you know, but this is just it just doesn't tend to work out with. There's a reason why men tend to like if you want to have like kids or anything, especially, so if you're just in it for, you know, getting the pleasure release, then yeah, you can have multiple partners, but it's not going to last you, and you're going to want to have a partner that you can like really trust as your best friend, and you can't have more than one best friend, or else they're not your actual best friend, they're just a friend.
Yeah.
And the same thing with a sexual partner, like that, and that's why you have all these problems in societies that have like multiple wives, because then, you know, the children are gonna be treated differently. It's just so much stuff. And I imagine the same thing with multiple husbands, like when you get these like cuckold scenarios, but they're like not as common throughout history. There's like maybe a handful of times versus like a great deal many times of situations of you know, polygamy versus polyandry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, don't do it. I recommend, you know, just sticking to one partner. And you know, if you're single, it's one thing, but you know, if you're dating someone, don't cuck him with a C. That was with a C. FCC.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, good clarification. But yeah, I've because we got a break here, but I've heard like there's definitely a lot of problems with polygamy, and like a lot of, you know, problems with it that like you described, and the fact that they don't. They tend to cheat. They don't tend to have a stable relationship. They don't tend to raise their kids right. You know, you're afraid. It was so loud. It's like, but it's just and I think there's also a lot of like genetic problems that come in too with diseases and whatnot. It's just bad.
Bad.
Don't do it. Bad. I can't do it.
Woo.
We're gonna talk about Jim Acosta, or as I call him, Jim Acosta, getting cucked on Twitter. So, if anybody doesn't know, Jim Acosta is the worst reporter in the world. He's everything wrong with journalism, and he's just a drama queen. Drama baby, I should say. He's not royalty, he's just a baby. So, when he was at the Trump, like he always disrupts Trump and interrupts him during questions, so he doesn't have much sympathy for Jim Acosta. So, when at the Trump rally, he was reporting there, and he sent out this tweet claiming the following, quote, "Tonight, the Trump campaign / White House turned up the music so loud, the press risers were vibrating. Nearly impossible to do live TV. I suppose the White House loves those kinds of shenanigans, but I wonder, what was that?
What?
Oh, I just heard this cut out. But he said, but I wonder if it's a security concern for USSS or local law enforcement. They can't hear either." Oh, like Jim Acosta cares about like Trump's life or everybody else's life.
They do that at concerts all the time. Like really, like honestly, he should go and make these into like, you should go and consider them concerts so they can just like kick out CNN.
Yeah, I know. They pretty much are concerts. I mean,
it's a Trump concert. Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah, it's free.
Yeah. I mean, he just, he whines about that. And like I saw the video, like when he was like reporting to Anderson Cooper, like you could barely hear Jim Acosta. They had the music so loud. The only thing I have to complain about, like, and it's a valid complaint, when Jim Acosta was live streaming, the music was overplaying him. They should have been playing "We Are the Champions." They played the wrong song. It was just like some rock song, which is fine. But like, they should have been playing "We Are the Champions." That would have been funny. But then on Twitter, after he sent that tweet out, Justin Caporle, a former aide to Melania, responded with just, quote, "Dear Diary." And then Acosta DM'd her, "F you." And he didn't say F. He spelled it out.
He said a very vulgar word. Not very nice word.
And then, this got shared, screenshot, and scared around. Jim Acosta saying F you to a former Melania aide. And then Acosta later apologized, saying, "Hey, buddy, I thought you were an old friend from the campaign days. Did you? I'm so sorry. Hope I didn't offend you. Have a good night and take care." Now, let's take this into perspective. I honestly don't care if a journalist uses expletives and whatnot, but what if a Fox News reporter said the exact same thing to a former Michelle Obama campaign aide? Do you think the left-wing outrage mob would have taken that as a no biggie?
Oh, no. They go and say, oh, he's unhinged. He's using vulgar language. Like, I think they yelled at Trump for using language, but, like, it's okay when, like, they'd have him fired. Like, what didn't they call, didn't someone on Fox News say something mean about, like, what was it, Ford or something, and then he got fired?
Oh, yeah. Somebody on Fox called Ford, Christine Ford something. I forget what. I'll look it up, but yeah.
I think it was like he said like a slur for a promiscuous woman or something.
Oh yeah, he called her not a skunk, but it rhymes with skunk. It's pretty funny, but like it's like you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, it is a very adult language word, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't care if they use language, but like, reporters shouldn't be saying F you to people that they're reporting on. That shows that there's a bias there.
Yes.
And that's unprofessional behavior. And honestly, if you
should be fired.
Like they had a reporter who was fired for wearing a Trump hat at a Trump rally, so they should fire him for using, vulgar language.
Yeah. And he's extremely biased towards Trump. It is like blatantly clear.
Well, that whole network's biased towards Trump.
Yeah.
Like most of them are, and that's why Trump's doing so well, is because people realize this. It's easy to go and see, like just the blunders that the media has done. It's like it makes my libertarian side feel very bad because these are all like non-government. Like I almost want a government freaking media agency because I can't trust the non-government ones, but I doubt they'd be any better either.
Exactly.
But at least a Trump one. I think he should make it just Trump.
He does on his YouTube channel. He stole our show title, and he has a weekly show called Real News, where for like 4 minutes, like Laura Trump will run down what Trump has done that week. So like they circumvent it, and you just gotta share it out, and people gotta watch it. But
yeah, I didn't know about this channel, but we'll have to take a look at that at some point.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty well done. Like it's great, good graphics, good presentation. Like it's pretty well done.
Yeah, I'd trust them more than like half the news media out there, because they're all incredibly biased against Trump, and it just makes me upset. Like that, I can't go and see news that doesn't make me want to rip my hair out anymore.
Yeah.
Like
I understand.
We're living in the fake news realm.
There's no fake news here. We're real news.
Yeah, we're the only real ones left.
Yeah. Well, that's where you get like the NPC meme, which we've been talking about a bit too. And it's pretty funny where Kotaku like wrote this article saying that the NPC meme is dehumanizing. And it's basically like an NPC, if nobody plays video games, is a non-player character. It's like, when you're in Call of Duty and you're playing single player, and there's just like people standing around.
Call of Duty's a bad example. This would be like,
Grand Theft Auto.
It'd be like, you're playing Pokemon, and then there's the person that's not you, and you talk to them, and they just repeat the same things over and over again.
They give you a quest.
Yeah, sometimes you have like an input, sometimes you won't. Sometimes they'll just like rattle off on terms like, oh, Trump is so mean. I like to go, or like, oh, I like to go and listen to the sports ball. Look who won. Oh, look at pop star number 5028. Oh, they have such a fire mixtape. It's just the same stuff, different day with these people.
Yeah, same stuff, different, person.
It's nothing important. It's nothing earth shouting. It's nothing useful. It's just
nothing independent. It's just they're regurgitating what other people tell them. What the John Olivers and the CNNs of the world tell them. And that's what this is mocking, is this program response. You're like an NPC in a game where you just program to say certain things and do certain things, and you do them, and you look like a bland, boring, slave to the system. You're not a free-thinking individual. And it's been pretty funny because that meme spread, and Kotaku called it dehumanizing. They called Ian Miles Chong, who supported the meme. They called him alt-right.
Yeah, he's Asian.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work.
He used to be like a Kotaku writer, I think. It was like more Disruptoid. He was like he changed shape during the Gamergate controversy.
Yeah, and this isn't even his final form. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like this article just looked really stupid on their part. And what's funny is the same people that are calling the NPC meme dehumanizing are the same people that call anybody that disagree with a Russian bot or a Russian troll, or just like they just throw these like Nazi. They throw labels at you. They don't. Oh, you stroking that chord?
Yes.
And then they prove their own meme, because every time you spread the NPC meme, they give you an NPC response, and it's just so
it's racist, it's sexist, it's dehumanizing. But when you call people Russian bots, that's perfectly humanizing.
Exactly.
Like I've just had people call me that before. I was like, really?
Yeah, I remember that when somebody on Facebook called you a Russian bot.
Yeah, it's like I can't tell if they're lying or not. Like they don't know how bots actually act. Or
yeah,
just like an NPC and a bot come together. Like they probably won't know the bot because they're an NPC. It's the same thing as them. Like, gee, and the sad thing is there's actual people who act like that, who think like that, and that's what this kind of brings light to. It's people don't have their own input. Like a lot of them, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go and do this. I'm gonna get some business degree and like not do anything with it. I'm gonna go and work at some, company number 5028, work for 9 to 5. Like the hours 9 to 5, and get wife number 6378, and it's just like such a boring world. It's like kind of like a critique on this sort of like existence, so cookie cutter. Like we're just humans.
It's people that don't want to achieve anything higher in life. Like they don't want to excel in their career. They don't want to make art. They don't want to get into politics and be like influential or be involved. They just want to live their life, and they just want to go to work, eat, sleep, maybe get laid once in a while. That's it.
Yeah, they just go and like check the human box. It's like if They was talking about on 4chan, years ago. I think this is what spawned it. It's like the soulless individual. Like, they're not woke. Well, that's what the left would call it. But they just don't. They don't have. Yeah, they don't have really
enlightenment.
They don't think hard thoughts. Probably smoke marijuana because that's like a lot of the honestly I think that's the sad thing is because they just makes people sometimes they can make them a little bit like lazy if a lot of people like they're legalizing so I don't know what's going to happen with that. And Canada just did that this week, and that's probably like a big middle finger to the United States. So I think there's gonna be some action on that end with Trump after the midterms. He's probably like, because once that happens, then you're just gonna have people go up to Canada like the snowbirds, but instead of getting, well, I guess they're both gonna get warm, except for this will be like, or to get cold, they want to get warm, and by warm, it's the smoke.
Yeah,
I mean, you could already do that in Colorado. Like, it's such a stupid situation.
Washington.
Yeah, we're just been in such a stupid situation, like with all that stuff. Like, it's legal, but it's not. It's like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
And
it's
then,
like decriminalizing or legalize, like
it's
the
not
D.
like it's federally illegal, but it's locally not.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was trying to say.
How does that make any sense?
Yeah, I've never understood that. But the last issue I want to talk about tonight, Halloween's coming up. If anybody doesn't know, it's the SJW's most hated holiday because people can have fun and dress up as anything they want,
Unless it's offensive.
Unless it's offensive. You can dress up as a boy or a girl. That's okay. But when you dress up as a Native American, like Pocahontas, or you dress up as a Japanese person or a Middle Eastern person, that's offensive and insensitive. You can't have any fun. And culture appropriate, because what they claim is that you're culture appropriating. Culture appropriation is not a thing. Ideas cannot be stolen. That's the whole premise of cultural appropriation, is that you're stealing ideas from one culture and you're putting it on yourself. That's total crap. You can't steal ideas. Ideas are just out there. You can adopt to a different culture and learn their ideas and become a part of it. But the reason I'm bringing this up, because this has been an old meme for years, but Penn State is like, we're going to get on this bandwagon. They decide that they're going to have this event here on Thursday called the, quote, Haunted by Cultural Appropriation. Ooh. And the description on it read, a refreshing, I don't know how it could be refreshing, workshop discussion for students to learn about the difference between appreciation and appropriation, how to be respectful during the year's Halloween festivities, and expand their knowledge. We invite all students to learn and join the conversation. And then at the bottom, it, of course, says, funded by your student initiated fee. Great. So my money is going to this crap. And this, of course, is at the same time that UPUA, which is our student government, has passed Resolution 9-13, which is the following, quote, support of we're a culture, not a costume, social media conversation, or social media campaign passes unanimously. It passed unanimously. Not one person thought, gee, maybe this is a waste of money and time and stupid, and people memed it showing how stupid it is. We're going to keep doing it. Because they did this freshman year in my dorm. I think I showed you. They had this.
Is Reagan still in the UPUI?
Ooh, I don't know.
Look into that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some of the college Republicans who allowed this to get passed. They need to get told. People need to go.
They need to be held accountable.
Anyone who considers themselves conservative and passes this crap, they need to go. Like if they're in, like the president of CRs or something. Like, no, you can't be having this fake republicanism.
So what do you think of this event, though? That's going to be a workshop on cultural appropriation.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they've already had like African studies classes and gender studies and like all these like BS courses for years, and they've been funded by students.
Yeah.
So that it's not surprising, but I think that someone should go and crash it. They should go and like wear like offensive costumes to it just to go and like, give them make them upset. Yeah. Go and like protest. Go and protest that event.
Yeah.
Like this needs to be like campus reform needs to hear about this because this is your money, and it's probably taxpayer money too. Well, it says student, so every student, they're forced to have a political opinion. I think Trump needs to go and investigate things like this. I think the Betsy DeVos's Bessie Davis, her like Department of Education, they need to investigate this, because this is clearly inappropriate for a public university to take funds from students against their will and force them to give a political opinion. Like, that'd be the same thing if, like, you know, if the opposite happened, they had a you know, like a pro-Trump event that was paid for by student affairs.
Oh, they wouldn't like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that, you know, forced, and they didn't have like a liberal one to go and counteract it. Like, yeah, this is a political issue, and it's really stupid that they've been doing it, but it's not surprising.
Yeah. Well, I like I said, it's all silly. And the thing is, like, nobody's offended when you dress up as a Native American. Nobody has been or will be.
Well, there's the only people now.
Well, yeah, the only people that claim they're offended,
They get offended
are
all the
white
time.
bourgeois liberals, not actual Native Americans.
I don't even get, like, it's Halloween. It's supposed to be offensive things. Like, back in the day when Halloween was made, like, people used to be legitimately afraid of witches. Like, they had, you know, there's thousands of people have been killed because they were thought to be a witch.
Yeah.
You know, if they had the same thing, people would be dressed up as Hitler as Halloween, because he's something that would be like scary.
It is scary.
Yeah, but you can't do that now. People would be like actual, like, you know, terror. Like, they dress up as terrorists to go and mock them. That's the whole point of Halloween, is to mock people.
Yes.
It's to mock things.
It's having fun, mocking stereotypes, mocking people.
Like, they have no problem like dressing up as Trump as a joke, like at Halloween,
or like a dead Trump, like a headless Trump.
Yeah, or just like to go and mock Trump. Oh, hey, I'm the big orange idiot. Ooh. But, like, you know, you dress
NPC.
up. Yeah, you dress up as Obama, and
that's racist.
Yeah, you'll be called racist and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I just hate the double standard, and it goes further because I found the Collegian article talking about cultural appropriation and saying that's bad and all that, and it was written by the whole editorial board. Keep this in mind: the entire editorial board, which has conservatives on it. One, I think, and he's like a conservative. You know what I'm talking about.
How many Trump supporters are there? None.
Yeah, he's not one. He spoke out against Trump on a lot of things. So he's kind of like a conservative. But they said, quote, Halloween costumes should be fun, not ignorant. Across the entire nation, many people believe it's okay or funny to appropriate another culture into a costume or dress as a controversial figure or depiction.
The point is to be controversial.
I know.
Like, they don't know what Halloween is. Maybe they should just not celebrate Halloween.
And they always ruin fun. This is why they're losing.
That's why you don't have parties with liberals, because they can't take a joke.
Yeah, they really can't. They go on further to say, just earlier this fall in September, the company Yandy pulled a costume from their website that was titled Yandy Brave Red Maiden Costume. Presumably, the costume was based off of a Hulu show, Handmaid's Tale, which is set a post-apocalyptic world where women are oppressed and seen as beyond inferior. It's a terrifying show, and this costume was triggering for many people who saw it.
Well, wait. This is great, because they had people dressing up
right here, protesting Kavanaugh.
So it's offensive to the liberals who dressed up as handmaids. So they need to get brought into this trial too. They are offensive, like they had during the Kavanaugh thing. But
they're eating their own again.
That's great. That's just great. See, no one was saying that's offensive when they dressed up then, but now apparently it is. Like, honestly, I think Handmaid's Tale is just some leftist fantasy, but
it's a meme.
Like, it's some like left wing erotic fantasy.
Yeah,
like
it's their like dirty fetish, like their 50 Shades fetish.
Yeah, it's like
for Trump. He's gonna enslave a woman.
Their political fetish. It's like, ugh. People will probably get off to that.
It gets better. This article gets better. It says, however, Yandy still sells over 40 different costumes that claim to be representing Native Americans for men and women. The costumes are clearly offensive and have been demeaning names like Chief Long Arrow Costume. That's just funny. And what?
Nothing.
Oh. I didn't say anything.
Oh.
No, I said Chief Long Arrow Costume.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You almost see a word there. Thank you for watching my back, though. And, quote, lusty Native American maiden costume. Since the company still sells costumes like this, it shows the culture hasn't changed.
Nobody cares. If people keep buying the stuff, keep selling it. Don't buy it. If no one buys it, then they won't have anyone selling it. So they can just go and take one and walk off.
I agree. And then they further want to say it shouldn't take an internet campaign for companies to remove demeaning and offensive costumes like this.
Yeah, they're being forced.
I know, it's called the outrage mob. And this is the last part. This is the spice here. We shouldn't just be able to pick and choose which beyond distasteful costumes are taken off the shelves. Every costume that could potentially offend or trigger another individual should not be for sale. Literally ban all the costumes, because it's not only, oh, let's just ban costumes that are triggering, which is literally every costume. Let's ban costumes that can be, quote, potentially offensive or triggering.
Wait. This was not just a one-off editor. This was the opinion of the whole magazine.
The Collegian wrote a entire article from the entire editorial board. It'll say like editorial board, op-ed.
Well, if that's true, I think people should go and write to the Collegian and say they should be banned instead.
Yeah, because they're offensive.
Yeah, they're offensive. That offended me. This whole diatribe, that offended me. So I think, what was the website?
DailyCollegian.com.
Yeah, I think people you should go and give them you should have your
piece
opinion.
Of your mind.
It's on the point of editorials to go and write a letter to the editor, because I think that's very offensive, and I think that's anti-free market. And I find if you're against free market, I find that offensive. I find communism offensive. I find socialism offensive. So therefore, I think of this government they're supposed because someone's got to do this, and they're obviously implying that the government bans it.
Yeah.
Like from what you're describing. So
they literally, I'm going to read the sentence again because it's so stupid. Quote, every costume that could potentially offend or trigger another individual should not be for sale.
No, I find that offensive. I find that very offensive. I think that the Collegian should no longer operate. That's my response to that.
Okay, we're gonna ban ghost costumes. You want to know why? Because they're white.
Because they look like
like Klansman hoods. Yeah, let's just ban them.
Let's ban witches because that's offensive to Wiccans. Let's ban goblin costumes because they're offensive.
Offensive to a particular religion.
Let's ban it was funny though, because I was at the Spirit Halloween store and they had like a rabbi costume there. I was like, I'm surprised they still were able to sell this.
I know.
And they had like a bunch of like Native American costumes there too. I was like, oh, the lefties won't like this store.
Can you imagine wearing a Native American costume is edgy in 2018? This is what we've come to.
Yeah, it's like not edgy at all to go and like wear drag and everyday clothing, but as soon as you wear like a Halloween, like a Pocahontas costume, then that's
crossing the line.
Yeah, it's sad what's considered edgy today versus everyone's like smoking marijuana. That's like not edgy anymore, but wearing a costume or like wanting to have a wife and kids, that's edgy. Having a white girlfriend is edgy in 2018.
They also ended this article saying, but clearly our nation is not there yet if costumes like this are still on the market. Also, people don't need a pre-constructed costume from a retailer to be racist, sexist, or ignorant. It's like, no, duh.
Well, they're ignorant on the whole purpose of
cultural appropriation.
They're very ignorant of Halloween, so I think they should not celebrate it then.
They really shouldn't. They should stop celebrating it because they're no fun.
It's gonna literally anything can offend anybody these days.
And that's what. I know. That's my point. When I said when they go, oh, anything that's potentially offensive or triggering should be not for sale. I'm like, well, then you're not gonna sell anything.
Well, if you just
everything's offensive to everybody. Anything can be offensive.
If you don't like Halloween, don't go out to Halloween parties. Just have a sign on your door that says, I might find your Halloween costume offensive, so I'm not gonna give any candy trick or treaters.
Yes.
Just don't go into my house.
So lame. Like, they just ruin all the fun.
Like, this is why this is the left's problem. They just want to go and drain the fun out of everything. Like,
yeah.
How would you deal with a Halloween party at like a leftist place? Like, it's like walking on eggshells. Like, is that your army costume offensive because they're anti-war? That's a real thing.
Dressing up as an anime character is offensive because it's not actually, you're not actually in the cartoon.
Yeah, it's offensive because it's from Japanese culture. So, dressing as up as Samurai Jack, they go.
It's not an anime.
They get offended because you'd be an Asian man.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing. But then if you dress up as like a European thing, they'd find like an alt-right costume. So
dressing up as Christopher Columbus is alt-right. As a pilgrim, that's alt-right.
Yeah. So you dress up as a pilgrim, that's alt-right. You dress up as a Native American, that's offensive. So you really you're gonna be the French.
Yeah, you're just You know what French costume? You read my mind. I was literally gonna say, if you're gonna dress him as French, you're gonna have a white flag.
Oh my god.
See, we're having fun. You notice that we're laughing,
see, they'd be
having
offended
fun.
over that.
Okay, so what I was saying when you walked in, we were talking about a particular person that we know, and when we were in a particular meeting, and what was happening was our friend who used to appear on this program, Vince, was drawing a spectrum on the board. And we were talking about things and stuff, and then Vince just goes, okay, and this is where most white people rank. And the person we know went, yeah, woo, woo.
Oh god.
I was like, no. You're trying to
okay, we need to go and create a pseudonym for this person.
Can we call him KK?
Yeah, and what about like RJ?
RJ? RJ, yeah. I think of the raccoon from Over the Hedge. He was called RJ. It's voiced by Bruce Willis. Yeah, we call him RJ.
Accurate.
Yeah. Oh man, but it was so funny because he started cheering when he said like we're white people, right? I was like, oh, don't do that. Like you're trying to clear your name on that.
Yeah, this person's been known to associate with unintentionally associate with some pretty pretty special people. I guess would be a word for it. Associate with some pretty dark people. I guess. Well, not dark. That's the exact opposite of what they are.
Yeah.
You associate with some pretty shady characters. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that's the best way
unintentionally associate.
Sometimes intentionally, we don't know.
I think this guy's too stupid. Like, I don't know. Like he's a character. It's like you get one in every bunch. It's like the one banana. It's a little bit, you have to go make into the banana bread, or the one apple. It's gonna go in the apple pie. You can't go and eat it by itself.
You're like, this is bad. This is maybe too soon. But have you seen The Big Short?
The Big Short. What's that? Like a movie?
It's a movie.
No,
you gotta see this one. This one's fun.
We have to watch this at some point.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's on Netflix too. I love that movie. It basically explains the financial crisis of 2008 and why it happened. And there's this. It has like a lot of humor and entertainment mixed in to keep it, interesting. And they do like celebrity like cameos to like explain certain concepts. And one of them is, this is Anthony Bourdain. And he explains like, if I have salmon and it's bad salmon, I don't throw it out. I just make it a stew or something. That's basically what you described.
Well, yeah. Well, didn't like Kurt Eichenwald do some stuff like with that financial crisis? Because he had like that was where he got his like big break. I think was he recovered. He did a whole like story for like New York Times or whatever trash organization he was writing for. And the funny thing was he released a autobiography. And,
I hear.
Yeah, and there was some very interesting details about his life that were revealed in there. Like,
I don't know. Please reveal.
Well,
drop the big secret.
Well, like one time he was in, I think it was like San Diego doing like for a report, and then he had a seizure, and then the police came they tried to help him, but they ended up like really messing up, and they didn't know he was epileptic.
Oh no!
And he ended up getting diagnosed with like pancreatic cancer or something.
What?
He didn't have pancreatic cancer. He ended up like having to go through like it was like 4 days in there, and they kept giving him Valium, and like he had a life alert thing on himself.
Right.
And
he has one of those old people buttons.
Yeah, he has like one of those, and they'll like say what he's prescribed, and I think they just completely discounted what was on there, and they just kept pumping with Valium, and then like eventually he was able to get a hold of his parents, and his dad's a doctor, and like it was pretty dark humorous. It's like the first season of Atypical. It was just like a dark humor
cringe compilation.
Oh yeah, and then like also apparently he had a I shouldn't be laughing about this.
To preface, the only reason we're laughing is because this guy is such a meme. He's such a prick. Like he was like DMing Kyle Kashav, like harassing him. And he's just generally a stupid person, but also a really mean person. He doesn't deserve to succeed. I hate to say. Like, I like seeing bad people fail, as Trump would say.
Well, he went like Tucker Carlson, and he like started freaking out, just saying all these.
He put out a binder.
Yeah, he just like started saying it was like some Alex Jones things. Like, I got the documents. And then he was he had a interesting situation where I think he posted like a picture on Twitter of his computer, and there was some Japanese
hentai.
Yeah, some Japanese anime, but for adults.
Pornography is what it's called.
Tentacles, which is a famous genre of this Japanese subculture.
And he did try to deny it, remember?
Oh,
he
yeah.
kept trying to explain why it's up. He's like, "Oh, I was telling my kids about it. I was
I
like,
was showing
gonna
his
show
kid
them."
tentacle. I don't know if you could say that, but a tentacle
You can say
illustration,
pornography.
tentacle porn. He was his kids. He admitted to basically. And I don't know how old his kids are, but like
Old enough, young enough. I mean, really.
Yeah, but apparently this guy's because this like tentacle porn there. That's a nice way of saying it. It's in the Japanese. I think they call it like tentacle rape. That's the that's how they describe that genre, which is really ironic because apparently like, in his autobiography, apparently. I don't know the location. It was on a YouTube channel, and they had they were revealing parts of it, and they're just skipping ahead. And he looked up the term rape because tentacle rape, it's associated with Kirk Eichenwald. And so when they looked this up, apparently he had a seizure somewhere, and then he got basically anally raped when he was having a seizure.
What?
And then like
wait, was it a guy or was it a tranny?
I think it was a guy.
Okay.
Because like I think it was like in California somewhere, and that's
could have been a tranny then. That's what I was wondering.
And that's where there's other problems with that because like he was talking about like he was like in this like loopy state of mind, and then like the medical people were like testing him because they think he might have like AIDS or something, like an STD. They're like saying, I didn't read the whole thing, so I'm not going to go and buy his book. And these people. They only had a couple sections of it because it gets really boring. It's just basically him, I assume, like self-flating on the in the document.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just a character. I saw he had a movie. It was like The Informant.
He was in The Informant?
That he was the one who wrote the story about that.
What? I'm checking this.
It was by Kurt Eichenwald. The Informant. That was the one with the it was that company.
Was it Matt Damon and
Well, the plot, like if I'm thinking of this one right, it was the company, and they were releasing like they had it was some sort of chemical company.
Agricultural Corporation. Archer Daniels McLand. Wait, what?
Yeah, okay. I think that was the one.
I'll read the description.
He was the writer for that. Like he wrote the story about that, and I was like, wait a second, I know Kurt Eichenwald. I don't. And apparently he did. Like he was.
I found it. He's a producer. He didn't write it. He wrote the book. I see. He wrote the book, The Informant, and then the movie, which is based on the book, he was a producer for.
Oh, God.
Okay.
No, I wonder in like 5 years there could be some Me Too allegations with that guy.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
Yeah, he's one of those people that I'd be very scared of.
Yeah.
But
he's so weird, and then he harasses like victims of high school victims of school shootings. I mean, what's wrong with this guy?
Oh, it's not even just that. Then he had the what was it? Someone like memed him to almost death. They sent him a GIF, and it was like, "How's a seizure for you?" And it was like flashing colors, and he had a seizure.
I mean, I don't want people doing that. That's pretty mean. But at the same time, this guy, he just becomes a meme of himself because more crap keeps happening to him that has to relate to his seizures and his creepy fetishes. The guy is so weird. Oh my God. I didn't know he wrote The Informant. That's just.
Yeah, I was watching that movie and I was like, wait a second. This is
the same guy. Yeah, sure enough, it is.
Yeah, he just keeps picking fights with people on the internet. Then that was maybe that was Avenatti, the creepy porn lawyer, another creepy individual who has a history with pornography. But didn't Avenatti pick a fight with 4chan?
That's a fake tweet, I think, that said 4chan, you're next or something, or I'm coming for you. So I think that's fake.
They need to meme it.
Yeah,
it's fake. It needs to be real. We need to make it real.
We can't. Hey, we made the jobs not mobs thing real. Within a week, Trump was saying it after it was on the r/down and 4chan.
Oh, jeez.
We'll be talking about that too, but just the meme magic, it's real.
I told you. I told you during the election that meme magic's real. And I think it is. Before Trump got elected, I believed it was real, but when you start looking to the whole cult of Keck stuff, that's when things really started to kind of balloon.
That's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's a true story though. But did you hear that? But did you hear that, was it Sargon of Akkad's trying to revive Gamergate now?
I heard a little bit of that. I think he was just mentioning it because like there's a bunch of SJWs that are trying to revive it, but like I wouldn't say he's reviving it.
Well, he told Monday, like he went on the Kill stream.
He shouldn't go back on there.
I don't know why he'd go on there. And he started saying this, and then he told Mundane Matt he wants to get Mundane Matt to go into Tucker Carlson to explain Gamergate.
I think it's a little late for that, but
I don't think you should have Mundane Matt do anything. Like he's.
Monday. Oh yeah, I forgot who Monday Matt was. Yeah, don't do that.
I'm kidding. Like, that's their version of like Kirk Eichenwald.
No, he hasn't stooped to that level yet.
No, he
doesn't have seizures, and he doesn't look up tentacle porn.
But he went and like lied to people.
Yeah,
and
it was
then
pretty bad.
He got showed up like in real time.
Yeah,
and he was manipulating
live
information. And then he did not like say anything about it. He didn't do an apology until like a month later, and he did on Tumblr.
So like that's not where your audience is gonna be on Tumblr. That's all the SJWs and blue-haired, purple-haired feminists.
I mean, that is his audience now.
Probably,
I don't know. It's like MTV. Like they started out with like Beavis and Butthead and like edgy music videos, and now it's like Teen Mom. It's like what's happened? Like they tried to go and revive Beavis and Butthead, but the network's like, nah, we're too kid friendly now.
Yeah. What channel was that?
MTV.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, MTV, they should revive because MTV is irrelevant. No, I mean like they should actually keep it going. Because they haven't, right? They stopped.
Well, yeah, they stopped it because their network, it just has like Teen Mom and like all these other like teen girl channel stuff. And Beavis and Butthead, it's too crude and like it's not teen girl at all. Like no, like it's something that like incels would watch.
I don't watch it.
I mean, I like Beavis and Butthead, and I'm not an incel, but like it's something that you get like some like teenager edgelord to go and watch. Like they do some pretty bad things on there. Like like the first thing was them like hitting what was it, frogs with a baseball bat.
I didn't really like this show, so I never watched it.
It was stupid, but it was funny. It was like Robot Chicken, but like more vulgar, and it doesn't do like it does do kind of parodies, and they do music videos in there, and they kind of be like, hey, this sucks.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'd say good things about it, but yeah.
Well, like MTV is a case of old media that doesn't know how to rebrand or fix things because they started out in the 80s and 90s with being the place to go for music videos. I mean, that's what made them popular and interesting. So they were showing music videos. I mean, that's why they called it MTV. But since YouTube has taken over music videos, ours just upload there because it's easier to get a bigger audience. They don't know what to do anymore, so they're just like, oh, let's do reality TV. Like, let's just do trashy like garbage.
Yeah, just gossip nonsense. And I think they do have music videos on occasion, but it's not like the whole purpose of it. It's just like more reality TV network, and I think they already have one of those. They have those like House Hunters on there and like whatever. Yeah. And same thing with like History Channel. Like think of that. Like
it's not history anymore.
No, I remember back in the day, like it had like 3 major eras. There's like one where it would have like kind of documentary stuff on there, and that was like what History Channel was supposed to be about. And they went on to like just this Hitler fascination. You would have thought it was like the alt-right channel talking about Hitler. Yeah. Like it literally did. It was like every other thing was about World War II and Hitler, and then I think they made their own channel. It broke off, and now it's just like what's that? The Pawn Stars. They have American Pickers. It's like
those are the only 2 good shows.
It's reality TV shows. I don't want to watch History Channel to watch reality TV shows. Put that onto a different network. I don't want to watch it. Like maybe once in a while I want to watch it, but it's not history.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they need to rebrand that, put on a different network. But like it's just things have changed because like before they had History, like Discovery Channel used to have that stuff on there too, like way back then. Like that's when they said before they had Animal Planet, that song was like "You and Me, Baby, Ain't Nothing But Mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel." Because I was like watching that recently, and I was like, well, there's not really much animal stuff on here anymore. That's more of the Animal Planet. And it's just like I remember for a while, like Discovery was just like MythBusters, and
which was good.
Yeah, it was
I love
good.
MythBusters, but then Discovery, like they used to do like animal stuff and like some interesting documentaries. Then they kind of got into like Gold Rush and like this crap.
Was that Ice Road Truckers on History?
Yeah, they had that
on.
No, they had that on History.
I keep it's just
they're
things.
They're meshed together.
What does Ice Road Truckers have to do with history? Like, I mean, it's a small thing. Like anything could technically do with history. You could put anime on the channel and say it's history.
Oh, we gotta talk about that.
Yes. We ever talk about Goblin Slayer?
Yeah.
It sounds like a RuneScape quest.
It is a RuneScape show. That's what I was telling you.
Like,
it's
I
a
mean,
RuneScape anime.
Yeah, it pretty much is, except for like RuneScape, but like it has like the aesthetics of like Dark Souls, but kind of a little bit more adult oriented. It's like the like a little bit of Kurt Eichenwald scenes in there.
So what he's talking about, there's this anime has come out called Goblin Slayer. It's 2 episodes have aired, and it's caused some controversy. And it's not your normal controversy, let's say. Like, there's been accusations of white supremacy and anti-Semitism.
They call it the alt-right anime. I've seen articles where they say this is an alt-right anime. There was some guy who was like just yelling at it. It's like, oh, this is evil, and I don't like this.
Yeah, but that's not the extent of it. It goes deeper into, this is inappropriate. Just like the content is too graphic to show.
Really?
Yeah. What we're talking about is this is the show. There is a part in the first episode where they're going after these goblins. Like, it starts off fairly happy and do. You know,
it feels like RuneScape. Yeah, it feels like an online game. I don't know if it is an online game. Like, if it's supposed to be.
It's based on a manga.
Well, that doesn't.
Have you read the manga?
No.
You ever read the manga?
Oh, my buddy did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my one buddy.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. But people get triggered when you don't read the manga. They're like, oh, you didn't read the manga.
You didn't read Harry Potter, but you see this person died, and here, who's this Tonks person does look realistic. I don't even know who half these characters were. Like, that's another thing that pisses me off. But I mean, that's a whole. But
you digress.
I digress. But yeah, so there was a scene. They're fighting things in this anime, and they're just killing these
in
these
a cave. A dark cave.
It feels like like almost like dot hack. Like it's obviously a like a medieval knights and stuff.
It's
and
a
magic.
RuneScape quest. You're on a RuneScape quest.
Well, it's like World of Warcraft more.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like any sort of blanket MMO, but there's a scene that comes up. They go in the goblin cave. They look around and they get ambushed by goblins. And there was like mostly females. There was like one guy in the group.
And what did they look like?
And they had a particular facial features on them that some people have said looked
Jewish.
Was it Jewish? And there's been other things that accuse them of acting like looking in or acting like just like immigrants or something, or any sort of like other group.
They're classifying as like a stereotype, like, because when people stereotype Jews, they have them with certain features, and that's what they think is in this show, because the way the goblins portrayed. But then it gets pretty woke, because in the second episode they talk about.
We didn't talk about the one part yet.
I'm gonna talk about the stereotype, then we'll go back to that part. But I was gonna say there's 2 stereotypes at play here. People are speculating. One is the Jewish. The other is that in the second episode gets pretty woke, because they start talking about how the goblins have come into their town, taken it over. They're like, how would you like it if somebody came into your town that looked different and acted different and took it over and murdered people and raped people? I'm like, just substitute goblin for migrant. And that's what you're talking about here, stereotypically.
Yeah, that's where the criticism comes from.
That's where the alt-right claims come from, for context sake. But in the first episode, there's a very big scene.
Well, yeah, so they go into the cave, they're slaying some goblins, and then they get ambushed. And, there's about, I think, 4 people. There's your warrior. I think I don't know if there's an archer. There's like a warrior, a mage, and the priest, which is kind of one of the main characters. I don't know if there's another one. There may be another one. I don't know. They all kind of mostly die. But,
spoilers.
Spoiler. I mean, there's going to be spoilers. It's one episode. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's a premiere.
Anyway, and you've probably heard about this show anyways. If I didn't watch anime, but that's why I decided to go and review this. When people call something alt-right anime, I want to go and see if they're full of, malarkey. So anyways, they go in the cave and the goblins ambush them, just kills the one guy, and then the other lady is getting raped by goblins, and it was pretty graphic.
Yeah,
with a rape. It didn't leave much to the imagination. I mean, there wasn't any actual
Well, I read on Wikipedia after we saw it that they actually censored part of the episode because it was so graphic. They censored the actual rapey part that was supposed to be extended, but all you really see is the goblin behind her and doing something that looks rapey, and then it kind of shows a little more than cuts. Apparently there was more in between those cuts, and I was just like, this is screwed up, because we're going into that scene joking that is what could happen, just in a crazy sense of what if they went this far, because we didn't know about this going into it, and then they went there. I mean, this is atypical. We were talking about last week where we're like, are they gonna really go there? We're just joking about, and then they go there. I mean, there's a certain appreciation to when shows do go far and to where you think, but not to this graphic end.
See, my thing is, we already have Game of Thrones, and to my knowledge,
There's a lot of rape in that show.
there's rape, there's incest, there's a lot of they're
Nudity.
very. I haven't actually watched the show, but
I'm gonna start soon.
I saw like one episode of it, and there was a lot of nudity, and I'm told there's like incest and all this other stuff, and that's in real life. Like, this is a cartoon.
Yeah, true.
Like, you can do things in cartoons that you couldn't do in real life, you know, like, and there's a difference of what can be displayed there. But, you know, it was a very visual, very disturbing kind of scene. It meant to go and it played into the part of the story. And I think that was fine for them to do that. It was it had to go and happen, because that's why you see the one knight comes in there and he's in this, like, you know,
The
pretty
alt
cool.
knight.
Yeah, the alt knight comes out and he goes and he kills all the goblins. And
everywhere he is, like if it's in a restaurant or what they call a restaurant indoors, he never takes his armor off. He's always just sitting there, the only guy in the room with armor on.
he's like Master Chief. You don't take it off. Maybe he's a goblin underneath there or something. That'd be
a good
woke.
plot twist. Yeah, woke. There's a good goblin. Yeah, remember the part also where he's
He's like the George Soros of goblins.
Yeah, he's pulling all the strings. He's creating false flags.
He destroys the other goblins like George Soros.
Substitute goblins for something else.
Yeah, but he goes in there, and then like another kind of graphic, and another graphic part of that, there's like these goblin babies, and he just kind of
he says there's no such thing as a good goblin.
He just kills it, and like this priest is watching this. He's like, oh geez. But on the other hand, she also watched her like best friends get like murdered and like raped.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Like, it's just like, for me, like, I don't want to sound like a baby here. I just generally don't like graphic, bloody, gory teeth. I just don't like watching that stuff. But like, I can handle it. But this went a little too far.
I think you have to go and have that so that you don't just be like, oh, this guy's a really terrible person for killing the babies.
Yeah, that's
it kind of justifies that, at least. You know, it makes sense why he's doing it. It might not necessarily justify it, but I'm not gonna say if it's okay to kill goblins or not, because, you know, we've all played. We
do not endorse killing goblin babies.
We've all played games before. Like, I've played RuneScape, and I've, you know, massacred hundreds of thousands of goblins between all the games I've played. And most of the time, I don't go and think, you know, these people have families. You know, there's. You know,
they have lives, they have jobs.
And I guess maybe that's a sort of like, you know, above take on that. So a sort of like, I don't know, an analysis, a deep woke analysis when you're playing these games. You know, everything's got a family. People go and kill the bear. They kill bears and wolves and bunnies in World of Warcraft, but most people don't think much about it. But,
yeah, those NPCs have lives.
Oh, geez.
We're going to talk about that too. Because we have like 5 minutes here. Do you want to actually, maybe we could squeeze that in these 5 minutes? The NPC meme.
Did we talk about that last week, or was
we talked about that on a video on the channel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this, for the record, this is Associated Versa Me, because we have a guest here from Versa. I forgot to clear that up, but I cleared it up now. But yeah, we'll just talk about anything for right now. But anime, though, has gotten a bit dark.
No, that's nothing. Like, they've had.
I've heard they've
had worse, and they have, you know, the whole hentai genre, which is either it's either incest or like rape. That's pretty much just hentai.
Jesus.
Like, there's not
can
much
they have
in between.
Normal, like, can they at least have gay? Can we have a
like
compromise?
It's like the furry community. Like, you know, it starts, you know, you think it's just them, you know, maybe hooking up in fursuits, but when in real life it goes to them, like, you know, murdering animals and having their way with them.
Yeah, we need an expose on the furries, like a Project Veritas like expose on these people, because they're doing awful things, and like there have just been like surveys that have talked about a little bit that, you know, ask these people and they admit to it, but like nobody's actually like those numbers got to be higher is what I'm saying, because those are the only ones that are willing to say it. You know, there's probably like at these, you know, Anthrocon, you know, there's probably some crazy stuff happening behind the doors or in secret dungeons.
Yeah, I was told they had petting zoos there, and it's not where you go and pet animals. It's where you go and like make animals your pet.
Yeah,
like you do things with animals in there. That it's like basically an animal brothel.
Yeah, it's pretty screwed up.
That's what I've heard. I've not been to one of these. You know, I think someone needs to go and investigate. I think the FBI needs to get involved, because Like, no, they've had leaks. And there's
Operation
videos.
Fursona.
Like, they had videos, like Mr. Medicare did a whole thing on this, and like they have leaks, and you couldn't even show the videos because it's pretty graphic.
Yeah.
And I think like the one guy who was involved with this animal, like this bestiality stuff, he was from like Cuba, and they don't have any laws against doing these things because I guess they never thought to put these laws in there.
Yeah, it's not the only laws they didn't think to put in place in Cuba.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of problems in Cuba, but you know, furries, it's probably not their highest priority. But I imagine if they did find out, because this guy apparently was in the military or something, if they found out that he's, you know, raping animals, you'll probably get like sent to a gulag. Like that's the one good thing about like communism. is like in actual communism, they don't take this stuff very lightly.
No.
Sometimes. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked into a history, like the USSR's history on like furry and like bestiality stuff. I imagine.
You know their stance is in their manifesto.
Yeah, I don't think like they did. I know they didn't like gay people, so I mean, I imagine really furries, you know, people who like actually rape and kill, like at the same time, like puppies and stuff. I imagine they probably get cast off to the gulag, which in my book is something that needs, like, they need to go and do that if you're actually like raping an animal. If you're just, you know, dressing in a fursuit, I don't care. But when you start harming like animals, especially like newborn puppies and stuff, you need to get help.
Yeah, the free and do whatever you want as long as you aren't harming or affecting other people. That's the way I look at it. But I thought some playing with your mic there. You can't fit that in your mouth. It's too big. I could. But what I was thinking about was it furries? What was it? Oh yeah, Che Guevara. I love how like leftists will wear those Che Guevara shirts. Like, oh, I'm so edgy and rebellious, and they're like, oh, but I'm a leftist. I like the gays and I like colored people. I'm not racist. Yet Che Guevara has like blatantly racist like quotes, and he executed gays because they were gay. I mean, I think it's very ironic that they still walk around with those shirts and haven't realized that that guy's like pretty like screwed up.
Oh yeah, like he was not the angel that he was made out to be. Like same thing with a lot of these people. Like a lot of these people go and say Mandela did nothing wrong, but he was actually a terrorist who like the reason he got sent to prison was because he like had a bomb plot with the ANC to go and blow up places. But they don't tell you a lot about this.
Yeah, not in woke African studies like I'm taking.
Oh, Lord, I imagine there's so much like social justice propaganda in that class.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad, but it tones down sometimes, but it's pretty bad.
It's probably easy at least.
You just do a quiz every week, but like you have this research project that does take a bit of time.
What do you have to research? Like
a country. I'm researching a country of, I'm going to say it very carefully, Niger.
I got the only thing about Niger's, or maybe that's Nigeria. They different countries.
Yeah, they are.
Geez, so many countries in Africa that like don't really do anything.
She's like, try to find a fun fact about your country that's not negative. I'm like, that's difficult.
See, you had a couple good ones. Like, I mean, South Africa, at least they had like nuclear weapons at one point in time. They actually did something. But that was before the ANC took over. They got rid of them, and probably for good reasons. They can barely keep everything in check over there. But it's Africa in a nutshell. Like we used to call like AP Human Geography. It was called AP Africa Sucks. Like our teacher said that because he was like, yeah, you see all these like these things of the country, like their population pyramids, all this stuff. It's like, yeah, everything of those is like all the way in the pooper with Africa.
He's not wrong. I say it because it's just the fact of it, and that's why you need to fix it because I wanted to use the Trump term something hole, but I can't say that on air. Poop hole. But you get the idea. We have to go to play a song quickly, and then we'll be back in the next hour with more real news, guys. We're actually talking about topics and not anime, but that's always fun to talk about.
Do your anime reviews now. The newest anime review show.
Yes. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more real news.